Okay, here we go. Alright, I'm sitting outside and the wind starts blowing right when I want to do the video, so I don't know, maybe it's an omen or something telling me not to do this video, but there's like some things that I feel like I need to get off my chest and talk about and, just get it out of the way. But I know it's been a couple years since I've done a video, and I wanted to do one because just this past year I've been going through a lot of mental problems and a lot of depression and social anxiety and having suicidal thoughts and everything. And it's just now there's a helicopter. Okay, yeah, this is not not what I wanted to do a video of. I don't want to go inside because it's so nice out, but so sitting outside is the best thing for me to kind of cope with a lot of stuff, and I feel like it just puts me in a better mood, but this year has been really bad with the weather as far as the clouds and gloomy days and that kind of stuff. Just really puts a damper on my day. Like, I don't even want to get out of bed sometimes. I'm just thinking about it and I'm like, ugh. So yeah, I've been trying to get out as much as I can, but I'll go ahead and start with when the problems really started. I've gone through this social anxiety since my adolescent years and going through my high school years, and it just kept getting worse and worse. And I was on medicine there for a while, and that helped with my depression, but it didn't help with anxiety. I still had a lot of social anxiety and really a lot of issues being around a lot of people, and even sometimes when it's people that I know pretty well, sometimes I feel like I don't know what to talk about. I just get really scared, I just feel like I feel my heart beat and my face gets red, and it's everybody gets through a lot of the nervousness and all that stuff, but this is just so much more. Like, it's not, just your typical nervous. I know there's something not right, I could tell. It's just really, it's uncomfortable, and it's so uncomfortable that's like at the point why I feel like I have the suicidal thoughts, because I'm like, I don't want to go through this stuff. I feel like it's just too much pain, and it's just really hard. Like, I feel like I really can't connect with anybody, and there's a lot of things I can't relate to, and it's just hard kind of being like, I feel like I'm in a class of my own, like there's not a lot of things that I'm interested in. I really don't have, too many hobbies. I don't really get close to too many people. I'm always really guarded. I don't have trust in a lot of people, and I know a lot of stuff could be because when I was younger, I was always kind of the outsider at the same time, and I was bullied some, and I couldn't really stand up for myself. And even to this day, like, I'm not bullied or anything, but I feel like I still, if somebody has an issue with me or something, or I did something wrong or whatever, I have a hard time confronting the person. I don't even know what to say. Like, I just avoid the thing at all costs, But yeah, I'll go ahead and start with last year. On most jobs, the insurance and stuff like that went up, so we lost our free insurance, and I was working at Zappos, the shoe store, online shoe store, and it was the best job I ever had. Like, I was on cloud 9 working there. I had less problems than I ever had, probably in years, and I had a lot of friends there, and I was taking medicine too at the time. Well, when we lost our free insurance, I thought, well, maybe this is a time. It just kept going up, and co-pays and everything. So I just started telling myself, I was like, maybe I should try to get off of this and see if I could do all right with it. Yeah, that's when everything really started getting bad. Like, I just my head, I felt like I had so many problems, and like, I just couldn't be happy, and my anxiety was really getting worse too. It was already pretty bad to begin with anyway, but and that's when all the things happened, and finally got to the point where at my job it was just getting so bad, just trying to get us to work overtime all the time, and there was nothing to do. That's when it changed to Amazon. Amazon bought out Zappos, a few years ago, and that's just, everything was ruined. Like, management sucked, the people they were bringing in sucked. It was almost like they were bringing in just anybody off the street. So we were working pretty much shoulder to shoulder with these people, and then the managers were watching us. We had no work to do. Everybody's fighting over work. And, that's just not my style. I'm not, I'm a hard worker, but I'm not at the point where I'm going to go steal other people's work, or just, I'm not gonna, throw anybody under the bus just to save my own ass, And I started telling myself one day, it was like, is this really worth it? Like, I mean, is it really worth going through this and, trying to do a job that you hate and stuff? So one day I just told the manager, I was like, I'm done with this place. I can't take it anymore. I was going through a lot of stuff. So I said my byes to everybody. I was like, I'm gone. This is back in the summertime. And I've not had the nerve, to get out and get a job or anything. I just don't have it in me. And, luckily for my last jobs before that, I had enough saved. And I had worked hard, and I've always been a frugal person. So I had a lot in savings that I could live off of. And, I've been doing that. And I really just need to figure out some things in my life, like what I want for me. And I was at the point where sometimes I just feel like I don't even know. Like I just don't. Sometimes I feel like I can't do it anymore. And I've, been at a point where I've drank a lot, almost like every few days sometimes, just so I could, be around people and not have to worry about it. And, I'm not one to drink and drive. I don't do that. So if I'm usually like going over to somebody's house, I'll bring like, some shots with me, or I'll drink some before. And I try to make it to where it's not obvious, and to where I don't get like trashed or anything. I don't like to get drunk. I just want to feel like a nice, relaxed buzz to where I could be comfortable. And sometimes I feel like it gets too much to where I'm like, I don't want to, ruin myself or anything. And I know sometimes that doesn't help. It makes it worse. But, yeah, that's kind of a few things I wanted to talk about. But, as far as like being the suicidal type person and everything, I mean, I feel like it's just, it was almost at my last straw. Like, there's some things that'll happen, and sometimes like 2 or 3 things happen, like somebody will really just like piss me off, or, a lot of things like that'll happen, or it'll just be a lot of other things at the same time. And it's just that point, I don't want to deal with it anymore. I've even thought about what I want to do with myself to end it, and I never intended it to come out to anybody, but people pick up on it sometimes. And like my mom asked me one day, like she just knew something was going on. She confronted me about it one day, and we went out one night, and we were drinking, and I just told her pretty much everything. You're more willing to talk about things when you're drinking, and it's really hard to talk about, because I feel like there's a lot of things to me, life, it just doesn't feel important enough. Like, a lot of people go through a lot of things, and they're strong, they can take it. But like me, I feel like my problems is all in my head. I mean, I have, everything else is a great life. I live, have a great home, and I have, dogs, and, I have a partner. So there's a lot of things in life that I'm appreciative of, and I always know that I'll hurt people by doing something stupid. But they always say that, suicide is a temporary or a permanent solution to a temporary problem. I'm like, this is not temporary. I mean, I feel like it's going to be going on for the rest of my life. And I'm like, I don't want to be an old man and going through this stuff and being more and more miserable. It's just getting worse and worse the older I'm getting. And I'm just trying to hang on as much as I can, but I just don't think I can do it anymore. And, I talked to a therapist just one time, so I'm going to go through and go through that cognitive therapy or behavior therapy, whatever they call it. So I want to try something without medicine this time and see if that'll work. And I don't know if anybody has any, reviews on it or how they think it's going to be or whatever, but I don't know. I just don't want to feel like suffocating anymore, I mean, it's just miserable. So that's pretty much just some stuff I want to talk about, kind of give an update and everything. But yeah, I've been just going through mental hell, and I just wanted to get some things on my chest and talk to everybody. So thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all soon.